Voting green, living green.
This message was from a proud sponsor to KNLY 91.1 FM.
We are broadcasting live from the Woodlands, Texas to the world. You're listening to the only multimedia FM station in Houston, Texas. Your Fusion Radio. Top 40s, dance, Latin, country, pop, rock and roll. All in one station. Mixing genres and generations. You're listening to KNLY New Waverly, Texas. 91.1 FM, The Boss.
The program presented
Entrepreneur is Mr. Jordan Smith, State Farm owner, entrepreneur, businessman, all around good guy that I really appreciate his enthusiasm and his compassion for business and the overall branding of the business. And so I want to introduce you all, Mr. Jordan Smith. Tell them who you are outside of me telling them, but I want you to be able to talk to the people just a little bit.
Yeah, how y'all doing, everyone, Houston, Texas? My name's Jordan Smith. I'm a State Farm agent located right there in Conroe, Texas. And so I've been a State Farm agent since October of 2018. Been with the company for a little over 3 years now, and just super excited to be on the show today to, talk a little bit about our agency and some of the things we're doing in the community to make an impact and for us to grow together.
One of the things, we've never had this conversation, but I met Jordan at one of the BizConnect events. And BizConnect is a huge movement. The pioneers of it is Chris Waldo and Nick Mitchell, and it has just been a great opportunity to be able to introduce different businesses. But Jordan was just adamant in just reaching out and calling and contacting, and some people would see it as the bother. For me, I saw it as someone that's enthusiastic about business. He is passionate about what he does, and that's the difference that most people don't understand in being in business. That I tell them often that whatever your passion is, that's what you're going to pursue. Your piece is tied to that, but it wasn't about the platform. It was just about being able to introduce not just the community, Woodlands, but Montgomery County, just in abroad, people what you have to offer, and you love what you do, and I love that about you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the guys over there at BizConnect are doing an outstanding job of really helping business owners in Montgomery County, Greater Houston, now across the country with what they're doing. It's giving people a different platform that we otherwise didn't have before. And it's where I met you there, Orlando, and you're exactly right. It's a very passion fulfilled career what we're in terms of being a State Farm agent. And very excited about it, and that's why I've contacted you so many times to get on the show. I know the connections that you have with local business owners here in the Woodlands, Conroe, Houston area, and I was looking for every opportunity to come share our agency's story, my story, to get on here to connect with more people in the Woodlands area.
Here's what I like, Jordan, outside of your passion for what you do. I got a chance to read your bio, and you grew up in Louisiana, am I correct? On a crawfish farm. So I want just sidebar. How was it growing up on a crawfish farm? And so that lets me know that from early on you've seen entrepreneurship and the model of doing business from being a kid. How is that for you?
Yeah, no, it's definitely a unique background to say the least. That's why I put that in there. I was raised in South Louisiana. My dad's a rice crawfish farmer, still is to this day. And from a very, very early age, I learned, the respect of hard work and doing things the right way the first time, so you don't have to do it again. I can, vividly remember seeing my dad wake up before sunlight rose and before it set. And just went to work every single day, and the biggest lesson I learned from that, or really from the farm, was no matter what happens, hard work works.
It pays off, and sometimes we don't even realize that, and I've often said this, we should never find fault with where we're raised or reared, how. And then also to the parents that we had no decision in, choosing. It was God's sovereignty, and He placed you with the right parents, in the right setting. All those things was actually preparing you not just for now, but where you're headed. And you're right about being not only driven but overall focused. Here's something that, when you mentioned your dad getting up early in the morning, one of the first questions I asked you, do you get up early? Because I wanted to get a chance to call you early in the morning. You were already calling me and you were ready. I was behind schedule. So it really says that and when I get guests on that really goes the extra mile for their business, for their brand, for their product, but it's not just about the brand or the business, it's about the customers. And so what I want you to be able to do is share with them what sets you apart other than the name, as someone who's selling insurance. And we know that they're mom and pops, little small storefronts, and it's a little bit different here in Texas than it is in Atlanta. But what sets you apart?
Yeah, and so I think, one, and first and foremost is my background. Being raised in a rural, South Louisiana town on a farm, I learned the value of hard work and the discipline that comes with that. And so I don't consider what I do selling insurance as more as relationship building. And that's all we're doing at my agency and at my office is we build relationships, and we try to identify people's needs through simple conversation on what their various insurance needs may be, and try to find a solution for that.
When we consider grassroots, I think it's more of foundation, having that relationship, having that rapport, and not making the customer feel like a dollar. That there's a little bit more to why you are engaging or establishing that rapport and that foundation, that we want those relationships, especially as business owners, to go beyond. I've been noticing some changes, and I don't know if anybody else has been watching. Chick-fil-A has changed some things in regards to how they're engaging with the community by now bringing real experiences, life experiences, where we're seeing a little bit more of a personal touch being added, even with and we know how big Chick-fil-A is. And so for you're that same person, or that same kind of person or entity, that you're doing that in Conroe. So there's some things that you got coming, as far as the community is concerned, that I think they need to know that you're doing also.
Yeah, absolutely, and you're exactly right. That's one thing that really separates us apart is we have all the technology and the apps and the websites and all that stuff that anyone else has, but we have that local presence of a guy who lives in that community. My wife is a school counselor in a local community. My son goes to school in the local community. We live, breathe, and shop in the local community, so that all makes a difference. But one of the biggest things that we're doing right now is called our Quotes for Good, and it's through our Good Neighbor. And basically right now for the month of August, what my office is doing, we've teamed up with a Smart Rescue, which is a pet adoption, a pet rescue service right here in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
And so for every person who inquires about an auto insurance quote through our office, we're donating $10 to that animal rescue to help animals in our local community.
Wow. You make mention of that, and I want to say her last name is Cross. She's with the Houston Animal Rescue Shelter, whatever. I was in Conroe, headed to another location, and passed them up, and I saw them outside the fire station. I think 51 is the one.
Yeah.
And I was there, and I think we're probably talking about the same people. And that would be wonderful, because I think it's a great cause just to get involved. How did you all consider, because when we think about support and sponsorships, what made you all decide to get involved in relations to, with the animal shelters?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, first and foremost, State Farm is extremely involved in local communities in terms of their good neighbors. They donate a lot of money every year to support local communities. And they encourage their agents to be involved as well. And so that's one thing that my office has taken initiative on. Being raised on a farm, I obviously showed livestock, had a lot of animals and pets growing up as a child, so I have a soft spot for that. And so upon moving to Texas, it was kind of a different world, and seeing a lot of the dogs just walking on the street, things of that nature. And my team, they have a strong passion about helping animals, and so we decided let's team up with a local adoption agency and try to help these animals out.
I love it that you're not just compassionate and as well as passionate for what you do, but for when we talk about animals, we're talking about people, and we're talking about influence, and that's one of the things that I think we miss. I had the opportunity this weekend to share with Les Brown and Oscar Hines and Cedric Keeler. It was a big event down at St. John's United Methodist, and being there, one of the key topics was about influence, and you're using your influence for the betterment of others. How can someone get more information, not just in helping in any cause that you have, but getting a quote? And there's so many things that people don't know about State Farm, and I know some of the stuff we really can't go into that I would love, but just being able to know that, hey, there's someone in, not just in Conroe, but Montgomery, that's willing to go the extra mile. How can they get in contact with you outside of the information we've been able to highlight, but Facebook, Instagram, any phone number or any other platform that you may be on?
Yeah, so we have a team of 6 fully licensed team members that all live in the local community. You can reach them at 936-756-1531, or simply visit our website, jordanhsmith.com, and you can find all the products and services that we offer. In fact, you don't even have to deal with the speaking to a person. So if you like to just get a quote on your own, you can go straight to our website. You can fill out an auto quote, and in there, just make sure you put quotes for good, and we'll go ahead and donate that money as well. And that's all you have to do. We'll contact you from there.
Wow. Jordan, I'm often, I always want to know, outside what I know about you, when I get guests and they, partner up and become the face of a particular corporation or business, what made you decide to do State Farm?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question I get quite often. I was a high school baseball coach for 7 years before coming over to State Farm. I had a passion about helping the local community, helping kids. It just drove me, and I started looking for a different platform that I could have the same impact on the community, on children in our local community, and helping out with that regard. And I started looking around, and it didn't take long to find what was the best business offering out there, and it was State Farm.
What would be something that you can share with our listeners and followers in relations to choosing an agent, choosing an insurance? Because there's so many out here. And I know we're pushing State Farm and Jordan Smith, and I'm pro Jordan. I'm pro Jordan. I need you all to really know the difference of why someone chooses an insurance agency to represent them or aid them in choosing the best policy. Yeah,
that's a great question in this day and time, right? With all the platforms that are arising in terms of technology, and it's exactly, I'll touch it with what I said earlier, is we have all the technology that anyone else has through our apps. We have an award-winning app. We have all the websites you can go to, get your quotes there, and adjust all your accounts through the website. But you also have that agent at a local presence, to where if you ever have an issue, you can simply call your local agent or walk right into the office. And yes, while I'm pro Jordan here, but there's several great agents. I mean, if you're a State Farm agent, you're fully licensed and you're completely educated on all the products we offer. And so I definitely encourage anyone, if you haven't spoke with your agent lately, go in and talk to them. If you're interested, give that agent in your local community a chance to earn your business.
Amen. You have it here with me, Orlando Daniels, on today's Entrepreneur, KNLY 91.1 The Boss. Conroe, I need you all to support Montgomery County, Willis, Woodlands. What else is considered? Cut and shoot.
Cut and shoot.
Yeah. It's just a whole. Listen. It's a family affair, a community affair. I need you all to get behind this cause, get behind Mr. Jordan Smith and State Farm. And not only that, Biz Connect, if you're a business owner, you want to get in contact and become a part of not only this platform, but this movement. And as I said earlier, we're having a motivated day here on Monday. Check out the shirt. We're going to be pushing brands. So you all need to connect with us right here on today's Entrepreneur. I'm Orlando Daniels on KNLY 91.1 The Boss, and we are signing off. You all be blessed.
Thank you.
Thank you.